Is it worth to pull Nahida on her upcoming banner in 2024? She made a huge impact when she first launched, but with so many strong characters in the game now, does the Dendro Archon still hold up? Let's dive in. First off, Nahida brought a lot to the table when she first arrived. As the Dendro Archon, she introduced us to some powerful Dendro reactions like Bloom, Hyper Bloom, and Quicken. For new players who does not know much about reactions, here is a short description on how to trigger these reactions. Dendro plus Hydro will give you Bloom reaction. Dendro plus Electro will give Quicken reaction. Hyper Bloom reaction goes by step. First, you apply Dendro to the opponent, then by applying Hydro to that opponent will generate Dendro cores. Using any Electro attack on that Dendro cores will deal damage to the opponent as Hyper Bloom. Moving on to her elemental skill. Her elemental skill allows you to tag enemies and trigger reactions from a distance, which makes her very efficient in reaction-based teams. When you hold her skill, she will mark multiple opponents, and triggering elemental reactions on one single opponent will deal damage to every opponent which is marked by her skill. Her skill can also be used to collect multiple materials at once. This is really helpful in collecting her own ascension material, as she requires Kalpalata lotuses, which grow on cliffs. Her skill is the most important part of her kit, as you will be using her skill for the most part for elemental reactions. Her elemental burst, which boosts reaction damage depending on the elements in your team, gives her a unique edge as a support or sub-DPS. Her other talents include that when her elemental burst is used, every character's elemental mastery will be increased of 25% of the elemental mastery that Nahida have. A total of 250 elemental mastery increase can be granted this way. In short, if you have 800 elemental mastery on Nahida, on using her burst, your elemental mastery will be increased from 800 to a 1000. 800 elemental mastery is ideal for Nahida, but it's important to note that Nahida shines in specific setups. If you're into reaction-heavy gameplay, especially teams involving Hydro, Electro, or Pyro, Nahida can boost your damage significantly. But outside of these reaction teams, her value might not be as noticeable compared to other top supports or DPS characters. Teams as Raiden or Yaemiko with Jingqiu, or Yelan as Hydro Applicator and Xiangling, or Thoma as a Pyro 1. You can replace the Pyro character for additional Hydro or Electro character, as Pyro character can trigger burning reaction with Dendro, which is not so strong. Nahida can be really good support or a sub-DPS unit up to floor 11, and I can personally clear floor 11 with 9 stars with Hyper Bloom team. But when it comes to floor 12, here is where you can feel the lack of a DPS, because the number of opponents in floor 12 is less, and her elemental skill does not provide much value as she could provide before when fighting multiple opponents. You can still clear floor 12 with her, but getting all 9 stars would be tough. She shines up to floor 11 as her elemental skill deals damage to multiple opponents at once. For floor 12, using her elemental burst can help a lot, as it can increase your DPS character, elemental mastery for better vaporize or melt reactions. Is Nahida still worth in 2024? In 2024, the meta has shifted quite a bit, from reaction-based teams to a proper DPS character team with supports. While Dendro reactions remain strong, they're not always essential for every team composition. Characters like Zhongli or Kazuha, who offers great crowd control and elemental damage boosts, are just as, if not more, versatile in certain situations. It really comes down to what kind of playstyle you prefer. Nahida's strength lies in teams focused on dendro reactions. If that's not your main priority, you might find other characters more useful in the current meta. So, is Nahida still worth your Prima Gems compared to other characters? Nahida is an excellent support or sub-DPS unit, but with upcoming banners like Nuevelet, Zhongli, Mavwika, really makes your Prima Gems limited. If I was in your place, I would have pulled for Nahida if I had 50-50, only if I had a good electro applicator like Raiden or Yaemiko. Other electro characters like Kuki Shinobu and Beidou are also good electro units. Anyways, if I lose 50-50 on her, I would have skipped her for other characters if I was short on Prima Gems. She is a really good character, but not a must-pull because meta does not focus much on elemental reactions at this date. However, if you enjoy her playstyle focusing on reactions and controlling the battlefield with Dendro, then Nahida can definitely be a fun addition to your roster. Remember, Genshin Impact is about enjoying the game. If you like Nahida and her gameplay, go for it. But if you're saving for other characters, it's okay to skip her banner this time around. So, in conclusion, Nahida is still a solid character in 2024, but she's not a must-pull for everyone. It really depends on your team preferences and playstyle. If you love dendro reactions and want a strong support in those teams, she's a great choice. But if you're leaning more towards high numbers as DPSE, there are other characters that might fit your needs better. As always, pull for the characters you enjoy, because that's what makes the game fun. Let me know what you guys think. Are you pulling for Nahida? Or saving for someone else? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Genshin Impact content.